My apologies on the delay, everybody. 2 more minutes, please. All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. You'll be joined shortly, or maybe already joined by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today on this beautiful Monday. As always, let's try to follow distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. And as always, we want to make sure that we start our day off by taking massive action. And that action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for the outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting in education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right. So, um, having some technical difficulties this morning, so I am not able to see who is on the meeting. I'm not able to unmute you, but if you engage in the chat, I can see your name pop up. So if everybody can still hear me okay, drop me a one in the chat and we will get things moving. All right, perfect. Appreciate it. So let's do this. All right, all right, all right. We got some action here. Okay. Just making sure my camera is working as expected. Um, all right, yo. So, um, little different. So having all kinds of tech issues this morning, but it's a beautiful thing. Keeps you on your toes, keeps you moving. So today, today, um, let me ask you this. Ha, that's funny. So all the names just popped up. All right. So now everybody hopefully has access to the microphone. Um, when was the last time outside of Mindset Monday that you learned something new? You learned something for the first time. When was the last time outside of Mindset Monday that you learned something for the first time? Right? When did you feel that spark of discovery, right? Discovering something completely new, a skill, an idea, um, different ways of looking at the world, right? Growth is driven by the desire to learn more, right? Curiosity is the fuel that keeps us moving forward, right? Exploring new possibilities and expanding our understanding of what's possible. I love it. I love it. Today we're going to dive into the law of curiosity. All right, the law of curiosity, and how cultivating curiosity can also lead to some really extraordinary breakthroughs. Right, um, some really tapping into your creativity, right, and really giving you that sense of fulfillment. And because life doesn't just reward those who know, but it rewards those who seek, right? When we talk about the training of the reticular activation system and what you focus on, you get. And if you're focused on the exploration and the learning and the growth and looking for the opportunities, they'll present themselves, right? So let me start by saying this. Curiosity is more than just a desire to learn, but it's legit a state of mind, right? It makes it makes us thirsty for knowledge. It's the spark that keeps us interested in life and people and ideas and experiences and events. Right? Curiosity drives us to ask questions, to explore more possibilities, and to discover things that we never even thought about existing. But honestly, I didn't always understand this power of curiosity, right? It wasn't until my second year in college that this law became real to me, and it clicked, right? When I was in college, I've told you guys the story, I think, but I had a professor by the name of Matt Lightham. And Matt, he taught all of the movement science. I have a degree in sports science and education. And Matt wasn't your typical professor, right? He believed in teaching through experience, experiential learning, and learning with your body. And it was a learning was a holistic experience, not just reading from a book, right? And he didn't even believe in buying the expensive textbooks that the school wanted him to tell us to buy. And he didn't believe in super long lectures and all this kind of stuff, right? Instead of keeping us in the classroom, he moved us outside, right? And he turned our lessons into immersive hands-on experiences, right? He believed that people learned best by doing, by experiencing, right? And he made learning fun. And he also made it practical. And so it was in his class that I realized that learning doesn't have to be boring. Learning doesn't have to be rigid, right? It can truly be an adventure. And it opened my eyes up to a whole new world of possibility, right? And for the first time in my life, I truly began to see the world differently. And I realized that I'd been limiting myself, right? Just by going through the motions and doing what was expected, but not actively seeking out new knowledge or and new experiences, right? I wasn't truly curious, but I was kind of coasting a little bit, right? And Matt's approach to teaching, it legit lit a fire inside of me. And suddenly I was seeking answers to everything, right? I wanted to know more about the world, about people, about ideas, and things that I had never considered before. It was a complete perspective shift for me, right? I was, but before this year in college, I was content on sleeping in until noon and focusing only on what I had to do and avoiding really, really challenging myself to really live outside of my comfort zone, right? And live outside of the things that I already knew. But after Matt's class, I realized how much more I was missing out on in the world, right? And the world was full of opportunities and experiences and fun and in ways to give back to the world and help people, right? That's the power of curiosity. It's not just about learning facts and gaining knowledge, but it's about expanding your perspective and seeing life through a completely different lens of possibility, right? Curiosity invites us to ask better questions and to look beyond the surface to embrace the knowledge with excitement rather than fear, right? It's what turns our ordinary lives into truly extraordinary ones. It leads you down some really, really fascinating paths, right? And the beautiful thing about it is curiosity is a skill that you can cultivate. It's not something that you're born with, right? It starts here. It starts with a willingness to stop coasting and start seeking, right? And so my question for you this morning that I want you to kind of continue to roll around is, where in your life can curiosity help you grow? Okay. So as we dive deeper into this law and explore how curiosity can unlock your potential, keep that question in mind. Where in your life can curiosity truly help you grow and push you outside of your boundaries? So it's easy to think about curiosity as simply wanting to know more, right? Like a kid asking why over and over and over again. But we'll come back to the word why, but curiosity is so much more than just asking that question just to ask the question, right? Curiosity is about creating a richer, mm, more engaging and more extraordinary life, right? Curiosity explores new territory beyond the ordinary, right? It pushes us to go where we haven't gone before and to see the world in new ways and like truly embracing the unknown. Like the question that I ask myself all the time that really challenges me to look at things differently is, how did that come to be? Why does this exist? Right? Um, your imagination, right? Imagination creates more options than the ordinary. When you're curious, your mind opens up to new possibilities and we start to see choices that we didn't know existed, right? Continuing to retrain that reticular activation system and make new neuronal connections. It expands that awareness of what's possible, right? Creativity finds more solutions than the ordinary, right? Curiosity leads us to think outside of the box, to innovate, to solve problems in ways that are fresh, right? And impactful, completely out of our normal realm of experience. And so together, these three, curiosity, imagination, and creativity, they lead to they lead to a lot of fun. They lead to a lot of challenge, but that challenge is fun when we approach it with curiosity, with an imagination, and with creativity, right? Curiosity isn't about settling for the way things are, but it's about asking, what could this be? It's about moving beyond the limits of what's familiar and stepping into a world of endless possibilities, right? The thing about curiosity is it pushes us to ask better questions and to seek different answers. and to live beyond the limitations that I'll say the world sets for us, right? Think about your daily routine for a minute. How often do you settle into doing the same things the same way with the same people? It's comfortable, I'm sure, but it can also keep us stuck, right? Curiosity breaks us out of the patterns and really challenges us to look and speak differently. When you approach life with curiosity, you're constantly asking, what else is out there? How can this be different? What's possible that I haven't even considered yet? Right? It's this mindset that really opens up the new possibilities and expands our thinking, and it deepens our understanding of the world. And it's what turns a routine into an adventure. Like the routines that I have, I really think about where they came from. How did I get into this routine? And does it help me on the path to where I'm going so I can either deepen it or how can I change it? Right? So how do we cultivate curiosity? Right? How do we move from simply wanting to know more to actively living a life driven by curiosity? Right? And like I said, it's not something you're born with or without, but it's something that you can develop over time. So I'm going to give you a few things on developing a greater sense of curiosity. And the first thing is having a beginner's mindset, right? A beginner's mindset isn't about your age, it's about your attitude, right? It's about a way of approaching life with openness, with humility, and with the willingness to learn. Things that you think you may know, there's always more to learn about that thing. So being open to learning more. One of my mentors, he said, being open to being proved wrong. He said, I'm always open to being proved wrong. So I'm seeking to find out how this can be wrong, how this thought process, how this understanding can be wrong or can be changed or can be improved, right? Think about how children learn. They ask questions. They ask a lot of questions, right? And they keep asking until they get answers, right? They don't worry about whether they look silly or they're too focused on they're too focused on figuring things out. So they're not worried about if they look silly, right? That's the essence of a beginner's mindset, right? Full of questions. This is what it looks like. Beginner's mindset is full of questions, curious, relentless, and unafraid to ask why. Why do you do this? Why does this happen? How does this work? Where did this come from? Right? And when Benny and I are talking in our daily chats, I'm always asking those questions to him, and he's always asking those questions to me. Right? And the conversations go deep sometimes, like legit, sometimes 2, 3 hours because of this back and forth of really trying to understand at a deeper level, right? I was watching an interview the other day with Akon, the music artist. Well, now the the developer. Um, but he was talking about the cities that he's building in Africa, and he said one of the gaps with young people and old people and really getting buy-in from the community is having conversations with the elders, and seeking to understand their perspective and listening to what they have to say and taking their knowledge into account, right? He approaches the development of these cities with a beginner's mindset. He goes in asking questions of the elders, and it's part of the culture there, but he really wants to engage them and understand their thought processes and how they see the world and what they've experienced to help them to cultivate them to see the world the way that they do, right? And he's able to take that knowledge and combine it with the new information, the new knowledge, the new experiences that he has to make the experience even better for the people, right? So it's full of questions, but in that full of questions, it's also vulnerable, the beginner's mindset. It's okay with not having all the answers, and it's willing to look foolish, right? If it means learning something new, right? Going through those learning trials because you know the experience and the knowledge and the awareness on the other side is going to help you to take another step in the direction that you desire to go, right? So it's vulnerable. The other thing about the beginner's mindset is it's not limited by rules or expectations. It doesn't worry about the way things have always been. Instead, it's focused on exploration and discovery of how things can be better, how things can be different, how things can expand, right? So to embrace the beginner's mindset, you have to let go of the idea that you already know everything. You got to let go of the idea that you already know everything. And you want to approach every situation with the belief that there's always something new to learn. So be curious, be humble, and be open. So here's a question for you. When was the last time you intentionally set out to learn something for the first time? You intentionally set out to learn something for the first time? Mine was on Friday. On Friday. I sent Benny a text. I said, we got to learn this AI agent thing. We got to learn about AI agents. And I went deep on figuring out who's creating AI agents and how are they created and how they're utilized and how to build them. I spent all weekend learning about AI agents, right? And it's daily, right? Daily. And I went to YouTube and I just went in and it opened me up to a completely new world, a whole other side of YouTube that I didn't know existed, right? And found tools and resources that are already available that are mind blowing, right? And so you got to put yourself in a space where you're seeking new information consistently, right? Because what curiosity does is it keeps you engaged, right? Even when things don't go as planned, it turns the process into an adventure and reminds you that the joy of learning is just as important as the end result. Because as you're learning that new thing, you're going to fumble and you're going to fumble and you're going to fumble and you're going to fumble. And that can be frustrating sometimes. Like as I was going through this experience of learning about AI agents, I created an account with one of these companies and I started testing it out. And I'm going through a experience where of building an application where I'm hitting some roadblocks, but I'm figuring it out because I'm exploring. I'm in that exploratory state where it's all questions and all questions and all questions. And as I have more questions, I go and ask. I have more questions, I go and ask. I go and seek, and I find more that opens my eyes to another side, right? In the movie Moana 2, um, one of the lessons is there's always another way. There's always another way. And one of the designers from Nike, as he was getting started in his career, when he was coming out of college, he sat down with an advisor, and the key piece of advice the advisor gave him is said, "There's always a third door. You got the front door, you got the back door, and then you have a third door. And most times, to get into new spaces, you got to find the third door. You got to seek to find the third door, be it a new relationship, a new experience, right? A new city, a new town, a new business. You got to seek to find the third door. But when you find that third door, you're going to have the knowledge and the experience to be able to enter, right? So there's always a third door. There's always another way. But curiosity is what's going to help you find that, right? The journey of learning, it really can be a beautiful thing if you allow it. In this process, though, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. If you're stretching yourself as we talk about, right? If you're trying to learn new things, if you're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, if you're putting yourself in the situation to build new relationships and learn new things and stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're going to fail at some point. You're going to. It's a part of the discovery process. But as we talk about, failure doesn't have to be the enemy, right? And so, like, the thing that this really drives me to help people in our world. What if instead of fearing failure, we embraced it as a natural and necessary part of the learning process? And you were afraid of not failing as opposed to being afraid to fail. What if your thought process was, if I don't fail, then I'm not growing, then I'll never achieve, as opposed to, if I fail, then I'll never achieve. What if we flip that thought process and we seek failure at every moment, right? Because every failure, it teaches us something valuable. It shows us what doesn't work. It highlights the areas where we can improve, and it builds a resilience and a persistence inside of us, and it helps us to grow and evolve, learn the lessons and the skills and the knowledge necessary to take that next step. So if we flip that thought process to be afraid of not failing, now every time we step out the door, we can give everything that we have, right? To see failure as the beginning of the process, right? The beginning of the process, not the end. Every time we fail, we were one step closer to figuring out the answer. So the faster we can fail and the more we can fail, the more we can learn, the faster we can learn to get closer to where we're going, to get closer to evolving into the person that we desire to become, the person that we've been created to become. curiosity isn't just about asking questions. It's about the action that follows, right? Embracing the process and being willing to make mistakes along the way. So my challenge for you these last 2 weeks of the year, right? Start asking more questions. Intentionally learn something new every day. And start fearing not failing. Be afraid of not failing. Meaning, if I don't fail, I don't grow. If I don't fail, I don't win. If I don't fail, I won't get to where I'm going. Failure is the beginning of the process. If we could cultivate this mindset of curiosity in a whole new way, right? Where we're not just learning, but we're growing and we're evolving and we're living richer, more fulfilled lives, what can we not create? Here's something else that I've learned along the way. Stop looking for the right answer. Stop looking for the right answer, right? Most of us have been trained to believe that every problem has one perfect solution, right? It's what we're taught in school, it's what we're taught at work, and often in life. Find the right answer and you're done. Find the right answer and you're done, right? But what if we challenge ourselves, right? What if there isn't one right answer? What if there are multiple ways to solve the problem and each time has its own unique benefits, right? The myth is finding the right answer as the ultimate goal, right? There's always another way to solve a problem. Life isn't a math equation. Life isn't a math equation with one single correct solution, right? It's full of variables that are changing constantly, full of different perspectives, full of different possibilities. Each person can look at the same thing and see something completely different. There's different perspectives to see the world from. So there's not necessarily one right answer. And then the right answer can always be improved. There could always be a little bit better, right? So what seems like the best solution today might look completely different tomorrow. Once you've gained new information and new experiences and new insight, your perspective shifts. So instead of seeing the bottle from this angle, you see the bottle from this angle. And you're able to see that there's a screw here that you didn't see before, right? When we limit ourselves to looking at one answer or looking for one answer, right, we miss out on the opportunity to explore other potential better options because this is the only way. So we got to stay open to possibilities. Curiosity keeps us asking what else is possible? What could be, how could this be done differently? Is there a better way? Is there a more efficient way? The openness to possibility leads us to greater innovation, greater creativity, and greater growth. more action. Instead of just settling for the first answer that comes, right? Curiosity will push you to dig deeper, to explore the alternatives and discover solutions that you might have never even considered. Continue to ask questions, right? When you break free from the right answer, you realize that options are really powerful, right? Having multiple solutions to a problem doesn't mean the solution is complicated, right? It makes it honestly more exciting. And it gives you the freedom to choose and to experiment and to find what works best for you in the particular moment. Because as the variable changes, now you know I have this solution, I have this solution, I have this solution. And so as things change, now you can flow with the moment and still achieve the goal, regardless of the changing environment around you. So let's stop looking for the right answer, right? And next time you're faced with a problem, resist stopping at the first solution, right? And ask yourself, what other options are there? How could this be done differently or better? What am I missing? Right? By staying curious and open, you'll not only find better answers, right? But you'll also discover a way of thinking that unlocks new levels of creativity and growth. A lot of times, man, we we take our kids out of that creative space and we teach them that there's only one answer. There's only the right way to do things. And that removes their creativity at a young age. And so by the time they get to my age of 39, creativity is lost. But what if we're able to continue to nurture that creativity? What type of inventions could they create because they continue to stay inquisitive? They know that asking questions is a great thing, not a bad thing. They know that seeking to learn more is a phenomenal thing. Being curious is beautiful. What if? What if? What if as adults we got out of our box? We got out of that comfort, safe space. Curiosity thrives when we step outside of the comfort zone. It pushes us to challenge the familiar, to break free from the routine, right? To explore that unknown territory. Thomas Edison once said, there are no rules around here. We're trying to accomplish something. The box represents your comfort zone, right? Our habitual ways of thinking, behaving, solving problems, doing and living. It's the safe space, right? It's the safe space where we go to get stuck, to avoid taking risk. You can't grow when you stay in the same space. The box is limiting. It's designed to contain, designed to keep you within certain boundaries. Those boundaries often come from fear, Past experiences where you were afraid of failing and you failed. Past experiences where somebody told you you weren't good enough because you failed. Societal expectations from people that have a completely different experience in the world than you do, that come from a different place than you, that don't even know who you are or who you desire to become. When you stay in the box, you follow the same patterns, which means you get the same results. You avoid discomfort, which means you miss out on opportunities for growth. You limit your thinking. You shrink your sphere of awareness, which means you close the door to innovation and creativity. And if your door to innovation and creativity is closed, what experience do you think you give to those around you? You try to close theirs too, because you want to help keep people safe. But to cultivate curiosity, you have to be willing to get outside of the box and challenge the limits that we've set for ourselves. More questions to ask. What would happen if I tried a completely different approach? What's one thing I've always wanted to do, but haven't because it feels too risky? Where have I been playing safe instead of stepping into the unknown? Stepping outside of the box doesn't mean abandoning all logic and throwing all caution to the wind, but it means being willing to experiment, to take risks, to explore possibilities beyond what's familiar. When we step outside the box, right? Again, we expand that perspective. We see options and opportunities that weren't visible before because we're expanding that reticular activation system. We're telling it more things are important. And in that, your confidence grows. Each time you take a risk and you learn a lesson where you succeed, right? You prove to yourself that you're not going to die. You're capable of doing more. You're capable of going through the experience better, more than you thought. Your confidence grows. You discover new possibilities. The greatest breakthroughs in life happen when we challenge the status quo and we think differently. Will Smith doesn't think the same as everybody else. Kobe Bryant didn't think the same as everybody else. Serena Williams didn't think the same as everybody else. Don't. When you get out of your box, it isn't just about breaking free, but it's about breaking through the walls, breaking through the boundaries. So see if you can identify one area in your life where you're stuck in a box. Then how can you get out of it? So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with some questions, some more questions for reflection, right? And the questions are designed to challenge you to think differently, think deeper, right? Spark curiosity and inspire you to take action on this journey for growth. All right. First one is, do you have a beginner's mindset? Are you willing to approach life with openness, humility, and a hunger to learn? Second question is, Have you made why your favorite word, your favorite question? Are you asking questions that deepen your understanding and push you to explore beyond the surface? In experiences, in the learnings, and in your relationships. Next question is, do you spend time with curious people? The company you keep matters, right? Are the people around you fueling your curiosity, or are they suffocating it? Do they encourage the curiosity? Are they curious? Do you learn something new every day? Growth happens daily, not in one day, right? Are you making intentional efforts to discover, to explore, and to learn? Have you made failure your friend? Have you made failure your friend? Do you embrace failure as a stepping stone toward growth, or do you let it hold you back? Have you stopped looking for the right answer? Are you staying open to multiple possibilities, multiple solutions, multiple perspectives? The way I do this on getting over the right answer is that I try to remind myself that everybody has a different perspective. And so how can I learn more about their perspective? How can I learn more about the other person's perspective, how someone else might see this situation, and approach it from a perspective of understanding, not judgment, not ridicule, but from a perspective of understanding. I want to understand how you think better. I want to understand your experiences and how you got to where you are today, just so that I can care and support you more. Next question is, have you gotten over yourself? Your pride, your fear of looking foolish. Are you willing to be vulnerable in pursuit of the person that you desire to become, in pursuit of growth? Are you willing to be vulnerable? Are you stepping outside your box? Is the next question. Are you challenging the limitations of your comfort zone and exploring new opportunities? And last but not least, are you enjoying your life? Are you enjoying the life that you're living? Is your curiosity leading you to a life that feels meaningful, that feels fulfilling, that feels exciting? Curiosity doesn't just make life more interesting, but it makes life more fulfilling. It leads us to new opportunities, deeper relationships, greater understanding, turns the ordinary into extraordinary. So let's embrace it. Let's cultivate it. Let's make curiosity the cornerstone or a cornerstone of our growth journey. And let's see how it transforms not only our understanding of the world, but our experiences in this thing we call life. That's Mindset Monday, good people. Doors open, thoughts, feedback, questions. I was able to unmute you, so you guys should have access to your microphones now. If there's anything. If not, that's cool too.
Morning, Ryan. How are you?
All right, Ms. Dunnett, how are you?
Doing good. I guess we can start off. Thanks for today. It was really, really good. Um, I guess one thing that I would ask you as a question is what is your perspective for today's Mindset Monday?
Continue to seek. And that's for me, right? As I was going through this, am I curious enough? And after writing this and after having this conversation with you guys, my answer to myself is no. I can seek more. I can ask more questions. I can ask different questions. I can ask better questions to better understand the world and the people around me and the experiences that I have, to be more value to those that are around me. So I got work to do too. I got a lot of work to do from this perspective. I have to ask more questions. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I know
absolutely.
everybody has things that we're all growing, we're all striving
Hmm.
for. So it
Yeah,
was one of those. Yeah. But
absolutely.
for me, I asked the question, have I been playing safe? And that's one of the questions. You know, what belief is shaping my reality? So
Yeah, that's a good one.
uh, that's the question.
Mm.
That's a good question that I've came across over the weekend, on Friday, actually Thursday, I think it was, that I was listening to this gentleman, what was his name? So, let me,
I like that question. What belief is shaping my reality?
yeah, gosh, I'll probably put it in the community. I remember his name. Adam Mortimer, I think it was. Adam Mortimer.
Adam
Um,
Mortimer. Okay.
yeah, that's one of the questions. He was trying to help you to get rid of your limiting beliefs. Um, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Limiting beliefs are, but through that exploration phase, through being curious, right? It helps you to identify those
Mhm.
to then be able to make those changes that you desire to make, to move through to that new experience. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. And we have Master Sid over here. He's woken up early today and joined Mindset Monday. So I'm proud of him.
Who was that?
My son, Sydney.
Oh, what's up, Sydney? Welcome.
Hey, thank you for today again. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What up, though?
Joy, what's the deal?
Slow motion. So, you gave me my confidence back. Cause why got me in trouble? I'm a why person. Why? Why you want me to do this? Why this gotta happen? Why? I get in trouble a lot with why. So I'm not going back down from it. As I'm on this journey. So I just want to say that.
No, I appreciate you, right? And I think because it's got me in trouble too, but I think really asking it from a perspective of understanding and not judgment or condemnation or anything like that, but truly trying to understand the process or understand the thought process or understand the person differently. Um, I think approaching it from that perspective allows the question to come off differently.
I don't think no matter how I say it, it's going to be taken offensively because I'm not a judgmental person. I have, um, I wasn't raised like that. Um, I think because of society, it put the insecurity in people that
It can.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
me, if if you talking to me, I'm going to be honest, and I think that's more why people stray away, and I'm fine with that. But don't ask me a question you don't want to answer to because I'm not the type of person that's going to pat, you doing
Hmm.
something wrong. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not that type of person. You wrong is wrong. I don't take sides. I look at the biases. I look at it from all points of view. That's I and plus someone already told me, he's like, you're just too truthful. I was like, well, excuse me.
And and
But
and and that's okay, right? Because
yeah,
my wife and I had this conversation all the time. Everybody isn't at that level of growth yet. So everybody won't understand it. Everybody won't accept it. Everybody won't be okay with seeking more,
right.
right? So you can give whatever you're giving and be okay with them taking whatever they take or not, right? And not having any expectations on how the person then responds to what you give,
Yeah. Yeah, because
right? And that's the hard part.
it is, but you know what the light of it is, Ryan? I was talking to Derek yesterday and I'm like, it happened 2 days in a row. This the other half of like the why. Um, I was in the grocery store. It's like about 20, 30. It's a whole bunch of people at the meat counter. And out of everybody, this young guy came up to me. He asked me how to fry fish. I'm like, do I really look like I can cook? I mean, I know I'm in the grocery store, but do it really look like how I could cook? And then yesterday I was in the then I went to no it was the meat market Saturday, and then yesterday was the beauty supply, trying to find a new hair grease. I went ahead and re-bleached my hair, and I was trying to find something so it won't change the pigment. And the girl's like, if you just don't open it and try it. I was like, what? She's like, forget them. She opened the jar up and took the grease out and put it on my hair. She said, yeah, girl, you tight. It ain't gonna change out of nowhere. I mean, just conversation. And I'm like, why do people just approach me? And so it humbles me because at the same time, people get offensive of the why. There's also other people searching for a why. And maybe I
But
have that friendly face. I don't know.
but you do. And the people that get offended, that doesn't have anything necessarily to do with you,
True.
right? Now, could you potentially say it differently or ask it differently? Sure, right? But if the offense is taken, a lot of times that has to do with them
With them.
and how they perceived it, right? And how they received it as opposed to how it was given. I've had to check myself on that, right? But prime example, you're approachable, right? We're at Best Buy yesterday, and I'm talking to a supervisor about what I'm looking to purchase and having this conversation with him, and he can't find what I'm looking for, but he goes and finds three other options. all the other options are more expensive than what I'm trying to spend.
Right.
Right. So I'm having this conversation with him, talking to him, and we get to the counter and I show him what I found online in the price. And he gave it to me for $100 less than what I found it online for. And he was like, man, and Tasha and the girls were close. He was like, man, I like y'all's vibe, bro. So I'm gonna make sure I take care of you. Like, which
Yeah.
ended up giving me like a $350, $400 discount off the price that it was listed at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the energy that you give, people feel. People
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
just
real
want people to
thing.
be happy. I just want people to be happy and copacetic. And both of my great grandmothers was humanitarians to the community. That was my, I think that is my default. You know, I had one grandmother that was a Baptist. I had one, I don't know what baby grandma was. We called her baby grandma. She had 6 kids and stayed a size 0. But baby grandma used to have daily breads, but then she knew about Catholic. She knew about all religions. And I
Mhm.
just, when those were my role models, and it was like, now it's like, how can I top them? Not top them, but how can I be like them? And that's what all of my perfectionism had came from, of trying to be in that tier with those ladies. So
I dig it. I dig it. High expectations of yourself. And that's okay.
yep.
That's all right. Appreciate you, Joy. I always appreciate your transparency and your experience. It's valuable. Any other thoughts, feedback, questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So one of my goals for the next year is I'm trying to make a YouTube channel, and it's
Okay.
going to be on similar topics to what we talked about today. But
Hmm.
I'm not really sure how to start or really like what I'm going to do. Because whenever I talk about certain things like this, it's hard to get my thoughts into words or like even put them on paper.
Why is it difficult?
It's like I kind of don't like the way I sound a little. I think that's part of it.
Hmm. Can I tell you something, Sydney?
Mhm.
I didn't like how I sounded either. I didn't. I had this conversation with somebody back in like 2017, 2018. Um, and they asked me why don't you have a channel? I don't like how I sound, so I don't like being on camera. The more you do it, the better you become. So how do you start on that journey? You turn on the camera and you talk. You turn on the camera and you talk. Our first Mindset Monday back in, was it 2021? I was nervous as all get out, man. When I get nervous, I sweat. I had sweat running down my face, my palms sweaty, my armpits sweaty. Like I, I was nervous as all get out, man. And this is a topic that I love, topic that I'm extremely passionate about. But me being on camera was extremely nerve-wracking for me because I didn't like how I sounded. I wasn't comfortable with how I sounded. And the more you do it, the better you become,
Mhm.
right? And I could go down a whole line of question about around where that came from, right? Where that dislike of your voice came from, right? These are things to questions to ask yourself to better understand you and understand where your fears come from, right? So that you can then say, okay, at that thing happened to me in the past. Is that true today? Right? And then does it empower me or does it disempower me? And anything that doesn't empower you, set it to the side. Acknowledge the feeling, but set it to the side. And you can dig into and understand where it comes from as you're taking steps to where you're going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? But the biggest thing that I would give you right now is today, turn on your camera and just talk. Turn on your camera and record a video today. And if you, one of the tips you can use to help you to articulate your thoughts, right? Do you use AI at all, Chat GPT?
Not really, no.
Get on a Chat GPT, type your thoughts out in a chat, and ask it to give you a script. And then you just read that script. And for the next 3 months, turn on your camera once a day. It could be just for 1 or 2 minutes, but turn on your camera every day for the next 3 months and record a video, even if it's just a 1 minute video. That's my challenge for you.
All right.
Right?
Thank you.
No problem. And I'll connect with that, and you can. I'm open for you to send me the videos if you want.
Okay.
Right? But
Yeah.
that's my challenge for you. Record one video a day for the next 3 months, no matter the length.
Mhm.
All right?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's funny. Yeah, Joy. Those voicemails are crazy. Anything else before we wrap it up for the day? No? All right, good people. Listen, 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 listen. It's about action. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's about action. All things that are new are going to be uncomfortable. All of them. Our body's designed to keep us safe. Our brain is designed to keep us safe. So as we are curious and we're asking these questions and we're exploring these new things, know that it's going to be uncomfortable. Sydney, know that it's going to be uncomfortable because it's new, it's different. Your body doesn't know what it is. But uncomfortable is okay. Seek the failure. Seek the mess ups. Seek the stumbles. Seek the falls. Celebrate them. Remember the story I told you about Logan and skating? Celebrate every fall. That means you're challenging yourself to do more. And in that, you'll see the growth. But don't try to trick yourself and say it's not don't try to trick yourself and say that if it's not natural, then I shouldn't be doing it. No, 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 no. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel unnatural. It's going to feel scary. You should press into it. You should go do it. As long as it moves you in the direction of the life that you desire, go do it. Go experience it. Go feel the uncomfortable feeling so that you can move through it. Don't run away from it. Allow today to be another cornerstone in the foundation of your growth in the life that you're building. That's my seven good people. So I will for this week, we're gonna take the week off. We'll be back at it on Saturday, right? Christmas in the middle of the week. I want you to spend time with your family, decompress, all of those things, right? So we will reconvene on Saturday for the weekly ritual. All right. Yeah, I saw that.
Hey Ryan, how you doing?
All right, Tyrone, how are you, man?
I am fantastic, rather dandy. Thank you very much. Sorry to
Beautiful.
stop you right there, but I have a question. I am so
All
sorry,
good.
everybody.
All good.
Now, I asked them in the accountability group a while ago. I asked them, what would tomorrow's you tell you today? And of course, now next year being
Mm.
very, very close. I think this question was quite a powerful question, the best one I had all year, in terms of your why. And I was just thinking, we were all aiming to get to that place of, freedom and independence, and of course, getting this thing down to a T. But like you said, we're always going to be unfolding, always going to be experiencing, always going to be finding out new things. And I'd like to pose that question to you. Um, what would tomorrow's you or next year's you tell you today?
Tomorrow's me, next year's me would tell me that I have to take more action
Mm,
and I have to take action faster. Because I like to learn, I like to study, I like to research.
mm,
But sometimes I get down in rabbit holes
mhm.
and it stalls the action as opposed to learning, implementing as fast as possible and still being able to learn along the way. So I have to take action faster.
Right.
That's what
And
tomorrow's me will be telling me. Take action faster. The faster you take the action, the more you'll learn. You'll learn more than taking the time to study before you take action.
mm, because as much as many of us have had good trades, I agree with that statement as well. Definitely, I was going to say that I was watching this one YouTube channel, and the guy basically said, and this pointed out to me very, very well. He said, your best trades aren't the trades where you get 716%, 5%, 20%. He says, your best trades are your failures. And of course, going forward, he also says the reason why your best trades are your failures or your biggest failures is because those are the ones where you learn to dig deep into as to why. And of course, he said, without them failures and them upsets, I would never, ever have thought to take the kind of action I did today. He said he became relentless. And
Mhm.
it really stuck with me. And that was a good thought
Yeah.
as well. So I just thought I'd like to share that with you.
Appreciate you, Tyrone. Appreciate you big time. And I agree that those lessons, as long as you're willing to look for them, they'll stick. Those big losses, those big failures, right? They're opportunities to grow. And that's why I truly believe seeking failure is so, so important. So important. We got to become best friends with it. Because that's where the lessons come. That's where the lessons come. If everything's fine and dandy and everything is great all the time, then we're gonna think everything is great all the time. There's nothing else to learn. But in the failure, in the tearing of those muscle fibers, is where the growth happens. I appreciate you, man. That's huge. That's huge. What will tomorrow's you tell you today? Team will leave you with that question. What will tomorrow's you tell you today? That's Mindset Monday, good people. We will see you on Saturday. We'll also see you in the community. Continue to engage, continue to become the next best version of yourself. Peace.
Thank you, Ryan. Have a good one.